What's up, my Eastside Shenanigan friends? We are back with another video for you guys. Today we are going to be talking about the Tahoe. We're going to be talking about a little bit on the back section of it, the whole back half, and how we got this all together. This will be the first part of this video, and then we'll go about it like that. First off, guys, Merry Christmas to everybody. Y'all are going to see this after Christmas, so Merry Christmas to you guys. Also, this is going to be the last video of the year, so Happy New Year's to everyone. Hopefully 2020 is done with. We can start 2021 fresh and have a good year for everyone. In our last video, we worked on the Trans Am. We did the cowl on it. We've got some more parts in.
Radiator.
No, we did the cowl last.
Yeah, but the radiator was in there too.
Yeah, the radiator was in there, cowl. The mock-up motor was in here, and the high ram was done. We're working on the hot side of the turbo right now. We got some stuff on the inside. We'll show y'all that on probably the next video. So let's get started with the back half of this Tahoe and go from there. Okay guys, we are here with Little E. Say what up?
What's up?
You been busy on this?
Not as much as I'd like to.
Yeah guys, we've had you know, Christmas and a bunch of other stuff, and you know, we've been fighting weather here in Houston, so we're trying to still get as much done. Good thing this is inside, so we have been working on this quite a bit. So let's take a look at what we got here. So we got the rails in. Alright, we got the 2-link in. You see it there. Now let's talk about it. Let's see what we've done. Why do we do it? And kind of explain to everybody the way to do this, okay?
Basically, we kind of semi-figured out how we wanted to build the rails. We built some patterns out of cardboard and stuff to mock up and figure out what's going to clear everything. Where we want to put our gas tank and the 2-link, and about where the bag mounts are going to be and everything. This is probably about the third version of how we decided to do it before we finally left it here.
And guys, the reason he says third version is the fact that this being a Tahoe kind of limits us on a lot of space. Sorry,
we're fighting to keep a little bit of a back seat.
Which
not
is
much,
probably going to be obsolete, I think. But we might try to get a little jumper seat in there. And also here, you know, we changed the pattern a little bit because we're trying to get as much gas tank space here. So we've been fighting that, and you know, just kind of going along with it, since these Tahoes are a little bit shorter than your regular truck, are they not?
Yeah, they're about a foot shorter than a regular cab short bed truck. So right. it doesn't leave you any room to do anything.
All right. So let's take a look at everything. I'm gonna walk around this side, kind of show y'all what we have done here. All right, we are on the side of the truck right now. If you can see, right over here, the frame rail is actually into the middle cross member, along with the 2-link as well. All right, let's go around this side. Same with over here. It is tacked in already. Nothing is done welded right now. This truck is very close to being laying on the ground. We are very, very close. We got to add some bag mounts and the wishbone.
Yeah.
To get this thing laying on the ground. So hopefully, guys, in the next month, this thing should be on the ground.
Basically, we kind of did the frame rails like that, and not as much of a step, because the bag mount actually lets it sit about right there. And then it'll have gussets that come up here and here, but that's kind of where the bag mount's going to be. We can pretty much put it wherever we need to once we figure out where the wishbone is going to go.
Now let me ask you, as far as placement of the bag mount, what do you prefer and why?
Placement of the bag changes how the truck rides. The further back, it doesn't get as much height. The further more forward, it gets more height, but it uses less air to get to a certain height, so it makes it softer. but you can't go too far forward or then it's too bouncy. So it's a kind of in-between thing. Me personally, I like it halfway up the bar. I don't like it at the very back.
What he's talking about is halfway up the 2-link, guys. Halfway up the 2-link.
It makes it too stiff if you put, to me, to put the bag in the very back. It makes you have to air the bag up really high to be able to get any height out of it, and then you're riding on 120 pounds of air versus right there you might ride on 60 pounds of air, so it's going to ride a lot smoother.
Yeah. And then so far we are planning to put the shock mount right in between, so right about here.
The shock's going to probably go up in here.
Yeah, right over there.
And go down to that bar, and we'll build a bracket off the bottom of that 2-link bar and up off the top of the frame.
And also, guys, on the second part of the video, we are going to be adding the wishbone. The bag mounts are actually going to get welded in. So that'll be on part 2 of this
The reason why the
video.
bag mounts aren't in there yet, because we have to put the wishbone in there, and we have to make sure the bag actually clears the wishbone, because the wheels are so deep, the frame's so narrow. We are working in a 2-foot section, and we have to cram 2-link bars, 2 bag mounts, and a wishbone all in a 2-foot area. So we don't want to weld the bag mounts till we get the wishbone back up in there.
I know I asked this before, but where did you get the rear end? Where did that come from?
The rear end came straight from Strange.
Okay.
And
so this is considered a Fab 9? It's a 9-inch?
Yeah, basically this is their fabricated 9-inch rear end. But it was just a complete, I gave them dimensions of the width, and I just got them to build me the rear end straight from Strange.
Now you do got 456s in here, right?
Yeah, with these big old wheels, it's not going to be the best on the highway, but it'll run decent. We don't want to kill the torque of the motor. We still want to have a little fun with it. Even though it's not a race car, we still want to have a little fun.
There you go. Okay, guys, let's talk about placement of the rails. Why do we place the rails here?
We are fighting the brakes, basically. We are limited by those fittings screw in further than they are right now. They're just in there hand tight, but
He's talking about that right there.
we have to keep them from hitting the brakes and still leave us enough room to get the ladder bars and the bags in there without hitting the drive shaft. I mean, the bag right now is only a couple inches away from the drive shaft.
Yeah.
And then we still have to fit this panhard bar with wishbone, which goes up in here like this.
Let me swing around the other side so you can see. So, right now this is the way we have the wishbone set up. It'll be about right there.
About right there.
So
I mean,
you
we
can
got to
kinda
move
see it in
everything
a
around,
sense.
but that's where this bag and everything has to clear everything. And then we have to clear the drive shaft on that wishbone mount. So we have to raise this up a little bit to even clear the drive shaft. So when you're working in a 2-foot by 2-foot space and you have to fit all this in there, sometimes you got to keep changing things till you make it all fit.
Yep. Also, guys, we have the bag mounts for the back on. You can see it here. So the back mount is welded on solid.
Cab mount.
I'm sorry, the cab mount. I'm sorry. The cab mount is welded on solid, and we have to make 4 more for the middle of the body.
The middle cab mounts we still got to make. We'll do that on the next video. The frame rail, though, it's been tacked in there and it's all squared up. It's not welded final because we want to make sure we get everything the way it needs to be, and we don't have to change something just in case we forget. But it's pretty close to being able to set it on the ground and make sure everything functions.
And guys, these are Billet Specialties Boulevards, 24 by 15s, but they are reverse lipped. So this is basically,
this is what creates all this problem.
This is the widest you can go right now on a 24 by 15. It's what, like 1.5 inch offset, 2-inch offset?
It's less than 2. It's about 2-inch offset, which is why your brakes stick out past the wheel and why it gives you all this problem trying to make the rear end and everything fit.
So that's the problems we're facing right now and how we're going to try to fix it.
I mean, we wanted to video some of this stuff, but we had so much going on. We just kind of threw it together and got stuff done off camera best we could. So the next video we'll do a little more work on it and show you what we're doing, but we kind of had to stop and figure things out because we weren't sure exactly how everything was going to fit.
That's right, guys. Flip this back around for you. So this is pretty much the gist of what we got going on right now. So we got the rails in, we got the 2-link bars in. We are working on the wishbone and working on the back mounts and also the cab mounts on the next video. So be sure to check in with that. Get all that mounted solid. We are very, very close to getting this on the ground. So we are trying really hard to get it on the ground. When we get it on the ground, we can actually pull the frame out from under it and weld everything up solid. Check everything over a couple times. Make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. And then after that, we'll start putting motor, and then the list goes on and on after that. But we are very close to getting this laying on the ground. And I know y'all are seeing it up in the air, but in theory, this is how low it will be on the ground. So it will be tucking all the way. It will be bagged and bodied all the way, laying flat on the ground. So
Yes.
we're very excited about that.
The tire actually comes up about another 1/2 inch. The tire will actually come up to the tip edge of the glass. So it's got about a 1/2 inch higher than it needs to go.
So we are almost there, everyone. It's been a long project, especially since we're trying to shove so much tire inside this vehicle. I think if it was a truck, it would have been a little easier to do. But right now we're fighting
With a truck,
everything.
With a truck, we wouldn't be worried about a back seat, interior, trying to put a system in it and make room for everything.
Yep. So that's why it's been more of a research and development, I guess you can call it, huh?
Something like that.
We're just kind of fixing it as we go, especially since we've never done an actual Tahoe before. You know, there's not a ton of them out there, so there's not a lot of information out there. So if you got one and you like this video, this is kind of what you want to do to it, stick around and we're kind of showing you everything that we're doing to get this done. So on to the next part, guys. We're going to be talking about this in the next video. Start doing a turbo hot side, getting this buttoned up. I got some interior stuff in. We're almost there. We're getting closer and closer to this vehicle being done, and everything's getting on its way. So until next time, everyone, we'll gap you later.